The Tommy Campbell Show. Donald Trump continues to nod off right before our eyes, sleeping through his presidency with more unplanned naps than the women that went out with Bill Cosby. Mike Lindell has seen Trump passing out so much in the White House that he wants to run for governor so he can hand-deliver a lumpy pillow to the Oval Office. More on that in a moment. Trump had one of the doziest weeks ever, caught catching Z's multiple times while the people around him just let it happen. Look at this guy trying to stay awake. This was me in high school because I worked full time and would finish up at like 2 a.m. some nights and be up for class at 6. If you have a puppy or a kid, you've seen this happen multiple times. Obviously, much cuter than this sweet potato-headed dingleberry. Here's the wide shot of it all going down. Oh my gosh, I had a teacher that used to drop a textbook on my desk to wake me up. That was his move, just thunk. You know, too bad Linda McMahon has never been near one in her life, or she could plop one in front of Trump. Now, I know there aren't many real journalists left in the room, but someone's got to be a hero and startle this guy awake. Look at his pathetic attempt at alertness with his, I'm not sleeping face. So ridiculous. You know, I said it's not long before someone gets a Sharpie and draws on his face. Didn't know it would be Biden. I don't know who made that. It's everywhere, and I think it's awesome. Now, speaking of awesome, California Governor Gavin Newsom kept up his trolling, posting the presidential walk of fatigue. Look at the vultures coming for Trump. Ooh. That's if this picture had noise. That's what it would be. Ooh. Yesterday, regarding the meeting, along with this image of dozy Dawn with the caption, built different. Russ Vaught doodling, I heart Gavin, and what does the SS stand for? Interesting. If you're seeing that for the first time, it's not doctored, not photoshopped. That got printed and put on the table. Nobody noticed. Nobody. Secretary of War. Was this lost in the fog of war, Pete? Because you seem to have footage of boats in 4K with people waving, but claim there's a fog of war, like it's literal. We had to double tap the boats. We had to double tap them. Double tap. Double tap sounds like another Peter North film that Hegseth got the title of Operation Southern Spear from. Was Double Tap a spinoff or a standalone movie? If the U.S. government suspects a van of cocaine to be going down the highway in Canada or Mexico, are they going to blow this up with a drone? What about a suspected boat in Lake Erie? Kid Rock has one there. Gonna double tap that? Where does it stop? Subscribe. Trump is unfit for office was trending while he's collecting awards specifically invented to please him. This is dictator stuff. Newsom posted, got a close-up look at Trump's medal, and Trump went for another snooze at a meeting while Mike Johnson doubled down on Dozy Dawn's vitality.
Do you work 18 hours a day?
More. And I have to, because President Trump works 21 hours a day.
I see you on TV all the time, always surrounded by hostile media people.
Oh, yes.
And your fellow,
it's a really
other
fun
Republicans
job,
that go at you.
Well, I have to work 18 hours a day because Trump works 21. Come on, Mike. We've seen the actual roll call data. He's worked less than any other president in history, and when he's on the clock, he's busy sawing and dropping logs. Mike Johnson took a speakerphone call from Trump. The audio was a bit mangled, so I had a little fun with it.
Hello, everybody. I just got my prize from the soccer people. It's so exciting to be the peace president. And, Mike, I just gotta give you a heads up, a little warning that I don't have that long because I have to blow up some boats and take a wet nap. Hegseth has a wet lunch. I have a wet nap. Is that blonde you pretend is your wife with you? She's so hot. There's no way she's in it for real, Mikey. I like blondes. You should have seen my first term. Ivanka was around all the time and so hot. I was knocking things off my desk constantly. Oh, pick up those Sharpies, sweetie. One at a time. Hey, I just found out it's December. Melania loves it because she puts up a big tree. Not in the living room, in front of her bedroom door. She wants to keep me away, Mikey. You know, Barron is taller than the tree. He is. It's weird. He put a star on top, didn't even need a ladder. I know what you're thinking, Mikey. I should have an angel. Well, until Victoria's Secret makes one, I'm going with a star. Okay, Eric just showed up with the golden turd tongs. So it's time to crane out some logs before I blow up some fishermen. Merry Christmas, you gullible morons.
Now, going from one delusional Mike to another, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell has officially registered to run for governor of Minnesota, his home state that he loves so much that he even has his own name for it.
Okay, so we got Rick ready?
Rick, let's go.
Okay, Rick from Minnesota. Rick, are you there? Rick, let's go.
Okay, Rick from Minnesota. Rick, are you there?
Minnesota. Oh, that never gets old. Get me a Minnesota on the rocks. Minnesota. Shaken, not stirred. And it wouldn't be a Lindell broadcast without someone patching in from a vehicle, or is that his home? I don't know.
Minnesota's Iron Range. I hope you know that. And I hope you know, like in Minneapolis. And you know, we did something in Minneapolis. Also thank the Minneapolis police.
It's not just one. He screws it up on the regular. And, you know, since Lindell grew up there, I'm guessing Trump led the way on this one. Lindell heard him on TV and thought, wow, I've been saying it wrong the entire time. Lindell's also admitted many times that he never voted in his life until he met Donald Trump, and he's officially throwing his tinfoil hat in the governor race. And if you're running against him, you better watch out because he has his own television network.
Okay. Am I live? Okay, I wanted you to... Okay. Here, go to a commercial. You got to come back. Sorry. Hello, everybody, and I'm sorry about we're a little discombobulated here this morning. I'm traveling, and the media has been calling me nonstop. So I guess we can maybe start there. This is about Minnesota, about running for governor or not, and like I had told them a couple months ago, which you've seen, it was all over the news, that it said Mike says he's 90-some% going to run. Some more media call in a second. Hey, I'm doing my show right now. Can you call back in a little bit for the hit job?
Yo, Mike, I got your crack. When are you gonna call me back, dude? I got your crack.
Get done here in 10 minutes. All right, thanks.
Long before Lindell became the face of post-2020 conspiracy culture, Lindell had openly documented his crack addiction, multiple stints in jail, and periods wearing an ankle monitor. After the 2020 election, he transformed himself into the loudest promoter of baseless voting machine theories, funding failed lawsuits and staging a cyber symposium where his promised evidence never appeared, then refused to pay the $5 million prize to the expert who proved his data was bogus. He pushed unproven COVID treatments such as oleander while holding a financial stake in Phoenix Biotechnology, amplified misinformation daily on Lindell TV, and hired a makeup artist and personal trainer as lead White House correspondents that have been granted full access to the Oval Office, the White House, the Pentagon as part of Trump's media push for full idiocracy.
The evil, the uniparty, the deep state, the globalists, this is what is taking our country. And you can throw in radical Islam and all the mosques that are coming up. They just had all over the news in Texas here. They had the guy in New York, Mandami or Doomy or whatever his name, Doom. And everybody, I've told you I'm 99% going to run for governor of Minnesota to fight the evil that's going on there beyond. It's another set of evil when you got Islam ringing from mosques downtown Minneapolis 5 times a day, and you're attacked by this radical Muslim Keith Ellison attacking myself. Cutting down our Christian churches, but the mosque, the Muslims could have the ring out for Allah on the top of all the buildings in Minneapolis, which had never done before in the United States. It was done by Waltz.
Okay, so Lindell talks about ridding Minnesota of evil, meaning Muslims, as if an entire faith can be defined by a tiny handful of extremists. By that logic, every Christian would have to be Eric Rudolph, the Olympic Park bomber, or Robert Deere, the Planned Parenthood shooter, or someone like Mike Lindell. That is not every Christian. You don't blame an entire religion for the worst people inside it unless you're doing what Lindell does and trying to turn fear into politics. You know, my next door neighbor in London was Muslim. That's not why I moved. We were great buddies. First time we met, he was barbecuing and the smell was unbelievable, just wafting over the fence, and I called out, "That smells amazing." And he just waves me over. I go in his yard, he hands me a beer, flips the ribs and goes, "I'm a bad Muslim. I drink, I eat pork, I smoke weed." And I'm like, "Mate, you sound like a pretty cool Muslim to me. I prefer the chill beer drinking barbecue Muslims to the ones Fox News pretends all Muslims are." Minneapolis was the first major U.S. city to let the call to prayer ring out publicly, but smaller cities had them beat by decades. A mosque in Dearborn was doing that in the 80s. My first experience with this was doing shows in the Middle East, I guess in the mid-2000s. I'm a light sleeper. I had jet lag, and I was not a fan. Like, I'm not against it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There was a time where people didn't have access to the time, couldn't tell the time, so you needed Amplification, a loudspeaker to organize society. It's 2025. I'm pretty sure you can get a push notification at this point. But let's be real. Lindell's frustration isn't a noise complaint. It's not about the sound. It's that a religion he really doesn't like scored a symbolic point in his hometown. And look, I'm not down with unnecessary noise either. Whether it's a neighbor idling their truck for 10 minutes, someone blasting music from their iPhone, or a wind chime. Don't get me started on wind chimes. That's not music. That's just a hostage situation created by the weather. No one needs a device that goes off 24 hours a day, even while you're not home. But for Lindell, again, not about the noise. If they were playing Christmas music, he'd be asking them to turn it up.
They turned in their electors. They had more voters than votes in places where it's against their law. You can't have more voters than votes.
As you can see, he really has a great grasp on things. Now, Lindell's history is full of the very things he now tries to project onto others. His arrest record includes multiple stints in jail, repeat DUIs, and years of driving without a license, something he even brags about in his own book. And while he paints entire communities as evil, nearly his entire public life has been defined by turmoil and deception. He lost a fortune to known conman Dennis Montgomery, whose fabricated PCAP data became the backbone of Lindell's own election fraud narrative. He tried to donate pillows to the Karen Convoy, paid MyPillow employees with free pillows to appear in national commercials, and personally donated 50 grand to bail out Kyle Rittenhouse. His current wife Kendra shows up at events to cast out black magic, sorcery, and witchcraft, which is far more nuttier than a call to prayer. Financially, he's in free fall. Courts have ordered him to pay millions, law firms have dropped him over unpaid bills, and MyPillow has survived on high-interest merchant cash advances since major retailers abandoned the brand. Even his one attempt at political power, the 2023 RNC chair race, ended in a humiliating last-place finish with just a handful of votes from GOP insiders. For someone now seeking the governorship, Lindell's public record is a long, messy trail of arrests, allegations, conmen, failed ventures, and mounting instability.
Is that you can access Frank Speech, whether it be Roku, an Apple app, now Fire Stick, frankspeech.com, so that you can watch us from anywhere you are, right, Mike?
Our voices have changed. All these new platforms have sprung up, and people are finding other places to watch the news, and the best is right here at Lindell TV and Frank Speech. And we've got the Fire Stick, like you say, a new Roku app, brand new yesterday. A new Roku app, brand new yesterday, a new upgrade. And
yes, that was D-movie actress turned ultra-right-wing fraudcaster Emerald Robinson, who went full Guilfoyle and got a top job on Lindell's network that is available on Roku, or as Lindell still thinks it's called, Roku. Now, whenever he mentions this by comedy law, I am contractually obligated to share this clip.
Brandon, because I don't about this Roku thing. So I go to my TV tonight, and where do I find Roku?
You already have a TV with Roku built in it.
So I got to go buy a little Roku box. So
choose that you want to add it to your home screen.
And where do I find Roku?
It's an icon now on your TV, just like the icons on your computer.
So I got to go buy a little Roku box. So
think of your TV as a big, gigantic computer screen, and now you have your Frank Speech.
And where do I find Roku?
You say you want to add it to your home screen, you do, it adds it. Now whenever you go to the home screen of your Roku TV.
So I got to go buy a little Roku box. So
you click Frank Speech, boom, it pops up.
And where do I find Roku?
I make this show on my own. If you can afford it, drop me a PayPal tip or a super thanks, become a member, and check out my merch. And quick fact check, there were no Somalis on Epstein Island. Even the pirates were like, yeah, no. And if he loses, I say if, because anything's possible, but the odds are stacked against him in every way. He doesn't just walk away embarrassed, he walks away exposed. Campaigns drag everything into the light. Every lawsuit, every debt, every contradiction in his finances, all of it becomes public record. Losing won't just bruise his ego. It could finally force accountability on a guy who's dodged it his entire adult life. But Lindell isn't just running against Tim Walz. He has to survive a Republican primary full of people who aren't complete circus acts. He's up against actual Minnesota politicians like House Speaker Lisa DeMuth, Attorney Chris Maddle, and State Rep Kristen Robbins. All people the GOP would pick long before the guy who got 4 votes for RNC chair. And even if he's somehow crawled out of the primary, he'd still face Walz, an incumbent in a blue-leaning state with one big vulnerability, the COVID-era food aid fraud scandal that blew up under state agencies. Lindell will try to weaponize that, plus his usual anti-immigrant and Christian nationalist stick. But Minnesota has a long history of rejecting that kind of politics. And with everything Trump is doing now, there could not be a worse time for a guy like Lindell to be talking about this stuff. He's not just a long shot, he's a long shot in a state that doesn't even like the genre. And if he does win, what happens when he has to do business with his neighbor to the north? Because last time we checked, wasn't allowed in the country. Disgusting. You show nothing but fragrant disrespect for President Trump and J.D. Vance. Oh, this is a fun one. I believe the word your tiny mind was scrambling for was flagrant, conspicuously or obviously offensive, not fragrant, which refers to having a pleasant or sweet smell. But this is a terrific accidental cell phone, since Trump's full diapers definitely show fragrant disrespect to all that suffer the proximity of his Big Mac turd stuffed pants. MAGA tears. Grow some hair, you bald liberal YouTuber. YouTuber. Is that when you're trying to get your cousin wife to have their monthly bath? YouTuber. I don't grow some hair. I grow plenty. It just stopped in one spot. And if I could make it sprout on the top, I certainly would. Alopecia sucks. But for now, instead of dropping 20 grand on hair surgery, I'll stick with 20 bucks on a hat. Still bald, still in my basement. MAGA tears. Right before our eyes, sleeping through his presidency with more unplanned naps than the woman that went out with Bill Cosby. Bogus, he pushed unproven. Double tap. Double tap sounds like a Peter North film. Loads of jokes here, folks. Seen Trump passing out so much in the White House that he wants to run for governor so he can hand deliver a humpy pillow. Humpy pillow. What am I, a Jack Russell Terrier? I'm going to go at this like a dog. Give me the humpy pillow.
I can confirm the Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.